Hello everyone, welcome to Edge Time. Today we have a combo review. These are the last two knives that were loaned to me by my friend who also loaned me the CRKT BT Fighter and the Cold Steel Espada XL. So these two knives are obviously the same knife, just different variations on the same knife. So this is the Hogue A05, which is a manual flipper. This is the Hogue EX A05, which is a push-button automatic. So these are both really cool, really large knives, and we'll just overview both of them pretty much at the same time, just because they are nearly identical. But we'll start with the manual here, the Hogue X5. So this is, well, we'll measure it first before we go into materials on these. And the measurements are going to be pretty much the same for both these guys. So cutting edge length, you're getting about 3 3/4 inches. Overall blade stock length, you're getting about 4 inches. And then overall length open, you're getting about 9.5 inches or so. So definitely a good size knife. And then closed, you're getting about 5.5 inches. So yeah, this knife fills the hand. It feels very good in the hand. It is well contoured. It's designed for hard use, which I can appreciate. I have a big, robust harpoon style blade here. I believe this is a full flat grind, either a full flat or hollow, but it looks like a flat to me. And it is in CPM 154, as is the EX-A05. These are Alan Elashwitz designs, which is pretty cool. These are aluminum handles, and the X5 here, I'm pretty sure that they make the X5 in plain slab handles like this one. But this one happens to have Damascus, which is G10 Damascus. It's just marble G10, which does look really cool. You notice that this one does not have a pocket clip, and that is because these pocket clips are very fragile. The friend who loaned me these said that he's broken multiple of these Hogue pocket clips, and while Hogue is good about sending replacement pocket clips, it is still sort of a pain to have to replace them fairly frequently. So that is one thing to take into consideration when looking at this knife, which they still do make. They make this knife, and you can still definitely get it. They're fairly expensive, between the $200 and $300 range, depending on where you're looking. But yeah, that's just one thing to take into consideration. I do have very good thick blade stock here. There's not really a whole lot more to say about either of these. The action on the X5 is great. No problems opening. It doesn't completely drop shut. Actually, it did that time. So I'm sure if I just worked with it for a couple more minutes, it would warm up enough to where it's already getting there, to where it'll drop shut every time. But yeah, still, buttery smooth action. This one, I believe, is on bearings. It's either on bearings or bronze. It would almost have to be that smooth. But yeah, anyway, it's very smooth. This was actually one of the first really smooth knives that I felt. Before handling this knife for the first time, probably 4 or more years ago, I was used to like lockbacks, like old lockbacks and other stuff like that. I just didn't have very many knives. And I wasn't really into knives, but I handled this knife. It's like, wow, that is smooth. And I can still say, to this day, it is smooth. It is a very nice knife. And same for the automatic. The automatic is very smooth, very snappy. It does have a pretty strong spring, and it's throwing a really heavy blade. So this is one you're going to have to hold on to. I mean, it's not really going to jump out of your hand unless you're really not being careful. If you have a good firm grip on it, it's not going anywhere. But yeah, really nice smooth action. I would not recommend this as a automatic knife to close with one hand. It is obviously doable. It's just there are much easier automatics to close with one hand. So just take that into consideration. Both of these knives, you see me fidgeting with this whole thing here. Both of these knives have a lockout. On the automatic, it's lock close and lock open, whereas on the manual, it's only lock open. It won't lock closed. So yeah, that is a cool little feature there. And while I'm talking about these little secondary locks, I will say I will not be doing a disassembly for these, partially because the pivot screws, I cannot get them out because I believe too much Loctite was applied to them at one point, so I'm not going to be able to get them out. But I didn't realize I wasn't going to be able to get them out, so I started to do a disassembly video, and I got the clip off, got all these screws out, and then started to take apart this secondary lock. And it turns out there is, so you have the thumb stud here and then the screw that goes through, and then you have a little plate back here that basically slides up slides up in between the, or how do I say this? It just basically slides forward into the button and prevents it from being pushed in. And the problem is there is a little wishbone spring underneath this plate that holds pressure on it just to where it operates smoothly. And it is an absolute pain to try to reassemble that mechanism if you can't get the rest of the knife apart. So that was what I was trying to do. I had to basically rebuild this secondary lock with the knife assembled, which was a major pain, and I would not recommend trying to do that. So if you do decide to disassemble your Hogue EX A05 or X5, make sure you can get that pivot screw out first before trying to disassemble, because if you can't get the knife fully disassembled, but you do get this lock disassembled, you are going to have an absolute nightmare trying to get it back together. And I ultimately did, and I'm very thankful for that it was able to go back together. But yeah, just that's something to be careful about. Don't disassemble this lock unless you're certain you can get it back together. But that's most of what I have to say about these two knives. Very nice, handsome knives from Hogue. USA made Hogue quality. They are good knives. If you're looking at getting these knives, I would say go ahead. You shouldn't have any issues with them other than just be careful with the clip. And I will say this clip does not go into blue jeans very well. It's really more suited for cargo pants just because of the angle of it. But as I was saying, if you're looking at these knives and you want to get them, I would say go ahead. They're well made, USA made. They're great knives. And if you're looking for a large, robust button lock flipper or just a large, robust automatic, I would say that for the flipper, this one is a good choice. For the automatic, this one's a good choice. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like I already said, I will not be doing disassemblies for these because I can't get the pivot pins out. But I'm sorry if I called these stop pins. I may have called these stop pins. But anyway, like I was saying, hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day.